Recording on OBS first. Okay, we start recording there. And three, two, one. Welcome to Xbox Uncut. My name's Jason, and this is a really unorthodox Xbox Uncut because there's only two people. It's Tim Dog. What's up, Tim?
What's up?
And me, Jason, and that's about it. So,
We
and
might have we might have a special guest coming.
really,
Yeah.
does he know that I'm not going to give him any special treatment? As in, he's not going to get a picture in this video. Okay. Let's see. What should we start off with? Do you want to start off? Do you want to just? Do you want to hold? Can you hold till the end of everything else, the news,
Yeah.
or do you want to jump into that?
No, we'll do that. Well, I don't know. It's hot off the presses, um, so it's up to you. I don't care. Well, there's a lot of news we can go through. It's not Xbox news, so
Yeah, let's just keep it till the end then.
yeah, keep it to the end.
All right, let's go to the first thing. A letter. I was wondering what you guys think of ReCore. Does the $39.99 price scare you at all? I've watched off-screen gameplay and I'm 50-50 on it. I'm not sure if I will buy it day one or wait. With a packed fall, not sure if it fits great. What about you? From Quick Killings. Um, Tim probably feels a little, I don't know if he feels different, but I kind of feel like if you don't feel like, you want to get it this fall, you could probably wait. Like, there's going to be a lot of stuff to play when this comes out. And I'm not really scared by the $40 price. I think it's probably a good price for the game. But I could definitely see how some people might want to just kind of hold off on it. Uh, I can't say I'm super excited, but I am. It is a game that I'll probably play. What about you, Tim?
You will probably play, and then you will probably eat your words that you just said, because I actually played this game. Now, let's get this
Well,
straight.
see, yeah, there's a difference here. I haven't played it. Look, all I know is
Okay.
what I've seen. So,
All right. Now, let's granted the E3 showing was pathetic. It was bad. They did a much better job the first time. All right, but what? Here's the facts. It's a $40 game, which is it's basically a double A title. Okay, um, and it's on Unity Engine, which we probably wanted on Unreal 4. Okay, so with that being said, for the price point, it's fair. But let's get this straight. This is not a AAA game, okay? So you're not going to get a AAA experience. You're going to get something a little less than that. They are marketing it like a AAA, but in fact, I'm not going to put that on my AAA list. Put it that way.
well, I think the key thing is this isn't a game they're relying on this fall.
No, they're not at all. And you know what? That's a good thing because the new IPs, this is also a new IP, okay? I played the game at E3, and I'm going to tell you right now, you guys, people who like mechanics in games, and they like the way platformers are, and the way strategies and types of using the mechanics and the different Mac and the different robots that you have. Um, you're gonna like it. You're gonna like it because when I played it, it was fun. Okay, it was you. It doesn't stop. You can definitely get the feel of that Mega Man people talk about. But yeah, you're dashing around, shooting. It has a scheme to the way you have to beat these monsters or these other robots in the world. And it's
That
fun. It's challenging, which is gonna make the core gamer happy in that regard. This is not a flaky game. It's going to be challenging, and if they nail down the story, they got a good one here. It's going to be a $40 well spent. But like I said, it's not a AAA, so I won't be listing them. It's not like that blockbuster AAA. But that's all pretty much stated by the price.
Let me be a little unfair towards you, Tim. Would you price this game at $40?
100% yes.
Okay. And yes, that is unfair for me to ask. But I just had to, as someone that's played it, because for me, I've just seen it. So it's kind of hard for me to tell someone, should they buy it? Is the $40 worth it?
All right, it's
Is
not
it going to
60.
matter this fall? But I'm coming from the perspective of there's going to be a lot of games this fall. And if you skip it, you're probably not going to miss a ton. But it's going to be there for when there's a gaming drought. I think that's what matters. Like, the game will probably be, like, if you really need to skip it, if you got plenty of money going elsewhere, I mean, it's probably still going to be a great game, like, early 2017, Don't you think?
To be honest,
Or do you think this is a game you shouldn't wait on?
I think if you're a gamer and you like competitive type games that are challenging, this is going to be a no-brainer. I mean, put it this way: I know the game's hard. Beard, who is a avid gamer, a much bigger gamer than I am. I'm sure you guys know about Beard, Jeff. But he played it and he was in love with it. We played it together. He finished it. He was only one of 3 people that finished out of like 70 at the time. He got some pin or some shit. But he liked it, and you could tell he was into it. So when a gamer like that, when I see a gamer like that, and I see how like Jeff to me, I kind of I look up to him in a way as a gamer because he's just so knowledgeable and such a smart guy. And really, when he plays a game, he plays a game and has a deep understanding. So for him to see his reaction, kind of was one of the reasons why I kind of was impressed with it. But also playing it, I had fun. So and I'm a type of guy that if it's not like good, I'm just gonna I'm gonna lose interest real fast.
And you don't have to. I was going to ask you just so we can move on to something else real quick. But if you could compare this game to other games, like just really quick, you don't have to go in depth with it. But would you say like this is more of an older Japanese style, like the feel of it, or is it more? Does it feel more modern?
You know what it is? It's just unique in its way. I mean, it reminds me a little bit. There's some things that remind me of Space Harrier, which is a really old game, but the way you fly around. But there's certain mechanics that you have to tie into the way you platform the game that are done in a really I think in a good way or in a smart way, which helps the game. So. Comparing it, I mean, everyone says it's like Mega Man. I played Mega Man, but I wasn't a guy that finished it or really had a deep, connection to it. So that's the game that I hear it compared to. But to be quite frank, it really is a unique game for me, at least. And I've played pretty much every game, and like I said, there's just there's 4 robots that have 4 different skills that can help you in 4 different ways to platform the board and to also, third person shoot where you're dashing around too. And I think it's 30 frames per second. It might be 60, but I think it's 30. There was a little bit of hitching. So performance wise, you might not get a lock 30, but it's also on PC. So you can play it on PC if that's your thing. But I like I said, I would give the demo like an 8.5 that I played.
And they would be yelling at you so much if you said 0.5 and they were on, but I don't care. So let's move on to the next letter.
I would give it 4 out of 5.
There you go. A high 4 out of 5 or a low 4 out of 5?
Here we go.
Okay. I'm gonna move on to the next letter before we get hate mail. Okay. Choose one. What I should choose one what I should do first. Don't worry about it. I'll do everything on the list, but need help to choose the first item. Purchase new games that I have no time for. Purchase old games that I have no room for. Buy a capture card for streaming because Xbox Uncut doesn't stream anymore. All right. Buy more selving units for old games. Buy search from bands I like. Wicked. Okay, before we go to the extra part on the bottom, let's address purchase new games that I have no time for, old games that I have no room for. Man. Huh. I think you should waste your money on a capture card because they're fun. What do you think, Tim? What
I agree. Capture card for you 100%. Even though
capture
you
cards are fun. They really are fun.
Yeah, plus Wicked is an avid gamer, so for you, I think that is definitely the way to go.
Don't waste your money on search. Just
Get
don't.
Elgato, do it the right way. Make sure your PC can play it. If you have all that stuff, it's a no-brainer.
Get an Elgato HD60 unless you plan on doing old school games, and then you're gonna want the older version of the Elgato that will let you do composite or component. No, yeah, it lets you do component, so you can do original Xbox and all that kind of stuff, and it has a PS3 adapter or whatever. I don't remember. It has stuff like that. So if you want to do older stuff, older Elgato, newer stuff, newer Elgato. Your choice. But I can attest the Elgato's a pretty good device. New fans should write in more because the difficulty of writing in each week is rising, almost at Dark Souls level of hard. I'm sure you'll survive, Wicked. Just keep writing. It will work. Vern will be very happy next week if you write another letter. Okay, I guess we're done with the letters. It's kind of makes me sad though. No more letters. Wicked, you should have wrote another letter. I guess we'll move on to news then. Microsoft stealthily edits Xbox Play Anywhere description. Okay, background on this. Microsoft had a blog post on one of their Windows blogs that came out and said that all future Microsoft published titles will be Xbox Play Anywhere. Then they edited it without coming out with a statement and said that all the games announced at E3 were Play Anywhere titles. I don't think this is really that big of a deal. I think the stealth edit was a little creepy, or it was a little out of place. But if people think this means the next Halo's not coming to PC, I don't think it means that. I mean, I don't think it means anything, to be honest.
Halo is. Let me just get this straight, okay? I'm going to tell you this, okay? The media is going to just keep going with this. They're not going to do their job. They're not going to contact Phil. They're not going to contact Mike. They're just going to run with articles, all right? They already did it, PC Gamer. What this is talking about, and there will be probably a blog post about this by Microsoft, but what this is talking about is simple. Games that they can't support, like i.e. Connect, Kung Fu Connect Part. I like Kung Fu Connect, by the way. So if we get a sequel, Kung Fu Connect 2, we'll probably not be making Play Anywhere, okay? You're not going to Play Anywhere on
Not to mention, Tim, Dead Rising 4 is going to be a Microsoft published title, yet I don't think that's Play Anywhere, is it? That's going to be on Steam,
Yeah.
right? No, never mind. It will be Play Anywhere.
Or a game like Dead Rising 3 where they have an exclusive one-year window deal. Okay?
Yeah.
That's all. That's what they're saying. They're just trying to say, okay, here it is. We're going full boat. But there's going to be instances.
There's going to be exceptions, yeah.
Yeah, there's going to be exceptions. There's nothing more to the story.
But the problem is, if they would have came out and said, if they would have changed it to say, all Microsoft published titles except for some, and then people would have went, oh, so Halo's not coming, and this isn't coming, and that's not coming, and this is not coming. It's better to say what we have announced already is going to happen, but we're not talking about the future titles just yet, because people are just going to run with it.
It's stupid. It's stupid that Phil has to address it. There are more There are things that are more pressing than this. Okay, how about this media that we have actually ask some questions to Sony? Why are you not doing competitive play against consoles? Why are you not in cross network play? Well, there's maybe two articles on that, and they're both fucking holding Sony's hands. It's always the same deal, and then they will try to go after Phil for the smallest thing, or anything at Microsoft for the smallest thing. And again, it comes from NeoGaf. NeoGaf started this thread yesterday, of course, because Video Gamer came out with it, and they kept pressing that narrative. But it was obvious what if you're a gamer and you're not confused about this stuff, it's simple what's going on here. They're not going to support Kung Fu Connect 2 on fucking Play Anywhere. They're not gonna support some fucking indie game that somebody makes with their own individual dev kit, because Microsoft is actually making dev kits out of the retail Xboxes. But let's just say a game like that, or whatever, a game in its infancy. That's not going to be
what you're basically saying is that just because it's published by Microsoft does not guarantee it's going to be a Play Anywhere title.
Exactly. Dead Rising 3. Kung Fu Connect. I don't know who's publishing that, but you get the thing. It is simple, okay? And if it's not simple, contact Phil, okay? Not fucking put it up there and have him respond on a Twitter to your shit because you didn't do your work. Where is the people that actually look at this media and say, what the fuck are you guys doing? What is going on here? Seriously. It's at the point where I'm fed up and I don't give a fuck because it's clear as blatant. There is definitely some type of bullshit going on.
I haven't seen the media so bad or so determined to make something look as bad as they have about Play Anywhere. Like, they have been hardcore in making Play Anywhere look like a bad thing. To the point where, like, let's put the cards on the table right now. Like, people, they keep bringing up this argument that Play Anywhere is going to hurt Xbox because there's no exclusives. The top 10 played games on PS4 are available on PC. So why does anyone own a PS4? Exactly. By your logic.
And by your logic, you're going to say that people will just like okay, let me ask you this question, Jay. Sorry to interrupt you, but
no, go ahead.
I want to ask you this question. When do most people buy consoles? What time of year?
Christmas. Holiday.
What specific months?
It's November, December, right?
Correct. Okay. Who's buying those things? What's a majority of that are buying it? Why is there such an influx? Who's a big part of buying those consoles? If you need
parents,
mom and dad. Is a mom gonna put a fucking PC on your internet system
No.
and tell their kids to sign in on a fucking keyboard?
Look,
it is not happening.
All right, Tim, calm down.
I'm just saying, this is the type of stuff.
No, you're right. You're right.
It is reality, Jason.
You're
it's
right.
Reality.
You're right. Look, Tim. I agree. It's like no mother and father are gonna go into Best Buy and go, all right, I want a Steam machine. No mother or father has gone into a Best Buy and said that. I guarantee it.
Yes.
Maybe one or two.
That was on acid.
And then the Best Buy employee probably quickly said, oh, you want an Xbox or a PS4? Because you don't know it. Your kid probably wouldn't even know what to do with it. But, yeah, I mean, it's just people, they're trying to push this narrative, the idea that Play Anywhere is a bad thing because it means no exclusives. But here's the bottom line: if you're a console gamer, if all you want to do is play on console, the games exclusive to Xbox are still exclusives, and that's all that matters. And I guarantee that's all that Phil cares about right now. Like, as far as that goes, that's why at E3 they just said, fuck it, we're just gonna do the Play Anywhere thing. You know. We got to support PC now, you know? It's my only thing out of all this, though, Tim, is I feel the point at which Xbox Live Gold is going to need more multiplayer becoming free on Xbox. It's going to have to get to that point at some point. Like, that's going to have to come up in the next few years. Like, do you agree?
Yeah, listen, I just think that it's pretty clear. There's always going to be a console gamer. There's always going to be a PC gamer. The Play Anywhere thing is going to be all games. It's going to be Halo. It's going to be, let's say, if Quantum Break 2, it's not coming, but, Quantum Break 2 came out and all this shit happens. It's going to all be on the Universal. They're looking, in my opinion, to make this next Surface Xbox compatible. So that is going to be a device in their family that is going to get support. And you're not hooking up a fucking Kinect to that. So you won't be getting those type of games, certain games that you might not get. But that's the gist of it. It's a pretty, clear cut situation. And I just prefer to live in reality now. And I'm just not going to even entertain the stupidity where these PC gamers who are extremely insecure, that are always butting their business into consoles, that hate Microsoft, that won't play a game because it's on Windows 10, are going to try to say that these aren't exclusive. Go fuck yourself, because you would never play on Windows 10 or Xbox. You're just trying to take down the brand. So let's just call it the way it is. So all the confusion, all these dumb articles that don't do their work, can all try to live in reality. And if they don't, then they are going to be dismissed by me. I'm going to have no mercy.
And it sucks because honestly, bottom line, this argument is dumb. The whole exclusive argument, it's really dumb. That's why Phil came out on stage at E3 and said he wants a platform where people are respectful to each other, where gamers are treated in a mature manner, and you can play the games that you want where you want. And I know I've seen a few snarky comments. Well, that doesn't include the PS4. Well, no shit. Microsoft doesn't own the PS4. Of course, they're not going to offer their games on the PS4. But the reason we can't keep going with this argument, there's nowhere to go. Like, the points have already been made. It's not hard to understand. You play anywhere. You buy the game and you play it either on your PC or Xbox. You don't have to go any further than that. I guess we should end it there with that. Do you have any
Yeah.
other final
No,
comments?
I agree, and I'm looking forward to having Play Anywhere. As somebody who loves an Xbox, and you can consider me a fanboy. I am a fanboy. I love the Xbox
I'm a
product.
fanboy.
Okay, and I'm a self-proclaimed fanboy. The first thing that only came to my mind was, holy shit, I'm not going to have bragging rights. But if I look at the situation like an adult and say, well, I'm going to be able to play Cuphead on a fucking plane, whereas I couldn't before, and I can get achievements that everyone makes fun of me about not having so many achievements. Oh, okay, that works for me, because you know what? I'm an adult. I work. I travel. I have kids. I do things. I play games too. I always make time for games.
Well,
But
that's the thing, though,
if
Tim.
I can get a little more time with gaming, and it's more convenient when I'm out in a resort and my wife is out, getting drinks or whatever, and she's coming back or whatever, and I have time. Guess what? I'll play fucking there in Jamaica.
That's the
Before
thing,
I
Tim.
couldn't.
At the end of the day, after all these arguments about exclusives and list wars and all this other bullshit, at the end of the day, you get to sit down and you can play your games on your PC. You can play them on vacation. You can play them at home on your console. Who gives a fuck? Like, at the end of the day, I mean, it's just about you enjoying playing the games. So, there's no reason to make such a big deal out of this shit, other than making it a big deal being excited about it. Anyways, let's move on from this to Play Anywhere launches September 13th. What a great transition. I don't know what this is launching with. It doesn't. I don't really know how you describe this as launching, because all it is basically. I don't really see this as a feature as much as it's an initiative that they're doing. So I don't know what comes out on the 13th, but I guess one of the games. But what really matters is the first game that comes out for Play Anywhere. So on that first day, you'll be able to buy it digitally on the store. Doesn't matter if you buy it on Xbox, buy it on your PC, buy it on your phone on the Xbox store, because it's all the same store, especially by September 13th, because that's going to be after the August 2nd update. So, Play Anywhere. Go for it. If you already
Play
own the
Anywhere.
games.
Higher thinking, people.
Yes. Let's move on. Xbox One background music launches 2nd August. Wow, who the hell wrote that? Eurogamer. Well, no shit. Launches August 2nd, because I'm not an idiot. Um,
Oh, the way
they wrote
I
launches
know.
2nd August. Like,
Yeah, they always do that. They put the day and then the month in the middle.
I guess it's a, is that
They
a
always
European
done that.
thing? I don't know. That's odd.
Uh,
Yeah, background music. Fucking finally. Like, finally. Um, this is one thing I've been asking for a long time. And I'll go that old ass saying. It should have been in there from the beginning, but at least it's finally coming. So, and I wish these ads on Skype would stop messing up my video. But hey, what are you gonna do? Any words on this one, Tim? You happy about background music?
yeah, I'm happy. I hope they have a nice way of implementing it. I'm thinking that I think the time was because of Snap functionality and the way the OS was originally made for Xbox One, where they kind of had these different modes. So I think that the application portion needed to be have workarounds, and this is a simple thing, and Microsoft is a brilliant company, but for the time that it took to get, tells me that there was something that was giving them a little bit of trouble. So they probably have time, and Ybarra it does a good job here. He does not release products that he feels are not going to do the job, and he puts it in preview, obviously, the right way, and I think it's going to work. It's a big deal. For me, I just want the progression. There's a progression of what's next. One of the things that I mentioned in my rant is that your Xboxes were said to be turning into developer kits. So obviously, it's pretty bare bones. I don't know if that's going to be a part of this update, but uh, when it comes, we'll have a couple of cool stuff, and then it's on to the next month. Because monthly updates is to me is one of the reasons why I have such a passionate feel for the company. I remember in March of 2013, monthly updates was really talked about, and I would tweet Aaron Greenberg, and I would say these monthly updates, and I purposely pushed the idea of monthly updates because personally for myself, I want the company that I love to work for me and make things better for me, and having a console that updates every month is brilliant, and it's grueling and it's tough on the people that do it. But you know what? I'm a consumer, and that's what I like. So for me, I remember pushing the monthly updates, and then 3 months later, people were talking about monthly updates. So it's more about just keeping this preview program going and getting ready for Scorpio. And Connect Cortana needs a lot of work, I think, but I really like some of the things that they implemented, and I think it will get a little bit better. But yeah, it's about progression. It's about getting your network ready to play another console if they ever can get their shit together, because console gaming, Sony versus Microsoft would be a fucking hit, and it's obvious, and the industry would make money. But one person can't get their shit together, or they're afraid, and nobody calls it out. But that's been done here and there. Okay, next month's another monthly update, and we just keep on progressing. So that's basically what I like about it, and I'm happy it's here. I just hoping they put it in a nice way to like put in 5 tracks and then just fucking put it in the background type shit.
Yeah. I'm just happy because of Cortana, because it'll be nice saying, "Hey Cortana, play some Metallica," and she'll just do it. But
Yeah, it's not going to be that integrated, but
no,
maybe
it will.
if you have monthly updates, that's the type of stuff that we strive for. That's the thing.
It will. We're
putting.
Tim, it will be that integrated. You can do that on Windows Phone right now. I can.
Okay, well, I hope Cortana is fucking all over that background music.
It's literally the same. Like Cortana on Xbox, it's literally the same service
It's the same app.
It's
Yeah.
the same. It's literally the same thing. The question is like you said, it depends on how integrated. I think, like you said, Mike Ybarra, they usually don't half-ass releases like this. So I think it's going to be pretty safe to assume you will be, at least by the time this officially comes out,
Right,
for
and that
everyone.
basic, and not to interrupt you again, I'm a little amped up, but is this everything now? Have we gotten everything now? Is there anything that we're still asking for? Because this was like the last one that we were. Well, Gamer Picks is the last thing, so. But is there anything that we're still looking to have done, Jason?
I'm going to seem like an idiot, but I can't think of one. I'm sure
No, you're
someone.
not an idiot,
I'm
but
sure someone's
that's
sitting at home right now going, "But this, you forgot about this
right.
one thing." It's like, no, I don't I can't think of another thing that they're missing right now. Background music was a really big one that they needed to get. So, I think most of the other features they need to add are just going to be, cherry on top from now on. I can't wait for clubs and stuff like that either. I think clubs and
Oh,
looking for groups going to be
Arena,
pretty great. And
Arena.
arena, yeah.
Let's start a Xbox Uncut group. We could do right.
Yeah, we can make a lot of groups. But funny fact on top of all this about the whole monthly update thing. Do you know the Insider program for Xbox actually inspired the Insider program for Windows and every other part of Microsoft? The Xbox Insider program was the first at Microsoft.
And I have confirmation of that statement. I was at a Windows 10 launch, and one of the engineers said exactly what you just said. It is the Xbox Insider program has spawned all these. Well, at that time, the Windows Insider program, and it's a special thing that the gamers on Xbox got this going, and kudos to everyone.
It makes you wonder. I know this is a little off topic, but it makes you wonder what Microsoft would look like right now if Xbox was never created. For such a small part of the company, and let's be completely fair here, Xbox is a tiny ass part of Microsoft. For such a small part of the company, they've influenced a lot to a lot of this company. Even just straight image, for a lot of young people.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see something like this have such an effect. I think Surface is doing the same thing right now. Surface is being very successful, and they're getting their image out there with that too, showing that they
Well,
can make really
would
good
you buy a
hardware.
Surface that's Xbox certified?
If I had the money.
Okay, let's say 2017. It's probably going to be a 1200, I would think.
The problem is for me though, Tim, for buying stuff like that, is I'm mainly a desktop user. And there's actually a rumor right now that Microsoft's working on an all-in-one. But if they were to come out with an out-of-this-world Xbox gaming computer, like Alienware does with the X51, I might be tempted to buy it. And I
It's a good
mean,
idea.
this wouldn't be, and I know people are going, but the Scorpio, this wouldn't be a $600, $500 device. This would be a $1,500 to $2,000 device with a GTX 980 and 12 gigabytes of RAM. Like,
Right. It would have
this,
two. It would have two 1080s or something crazy.
yeah, this is not.
It'd be like 15 teraflops of power.
Yeah, jeez, yeah, that could be their select 50. Oh well, shit.
Whatever,
for
but
1080.
it's exactly. You know what? And they should do that.
No, they should. They should.
There's no reason not to, because again, you have a core gamer that is going to kick their boots off and say, let me hit a button and boot into the UI and be ready to play. Let me see all my friends all there. Not, let me get my, a keyboard, and let me get my mouse, and let me sign in, and then let me hit the application to run. And then like PC guys will go, oh, well, you can auto log in. Why would I want to auto log in my fucking computer every time I turn it on, asshole? I want my computer doesn't do video game stuff, okay? It does personal stuff too. I don't want to auto log in my game and then have some makeshift, and nothing that you can concoct with pressing a button is gonna come close to what a console doing. And you talk about confusing. That is so basically,
Tim,
what you're saying
yeah,
is what they should do, and I agree. And there should be no confusion about it. There should be a $1,500.
well, you know what they could do with that,
beast.
Tim? they could make it to where they already have this kind of stuff where the lock screen can do different things. Like I think right now when you're on a lock screen for Windows 10, you can actually do Skype calls and stuff like that. They
Right.
could make it to where you go to the lock screen, you could press a button and just go into Xbox mode, where all it does is
They
open the Xbox UI.
they could, but in the gist of things, that's that's going to take more work than just a console. Where
Oh
you just,
yes,
you know,
yes. Well, the
and
thing
it's
is,
going to be marketed not for mom and dads
oh
and
yeah.
middle-aged guys that want to play football. It's going to be marketed for you and maybe me because I'll just spend money on something like that. But
Well,
yeah,
Tim, what
if
they,
it was that
yeah.
or a Surface, I would fucking I don't know. I'd have to buy both, but I'd buy them later. You know, when I got the money.
Well, the great
Because
thing about UWP is they could literally put the Xbox dashboard into a UWP app, and it just opens, like it just runs there, and you could use it as a launcher because I think there's a demand for a really good UI for PC. It's not a great demand, it's not a huge demand, but I think there is a demand there because Steam Big Picture mode. Let's be honest here, Steam Big Picture mode sucks. It really does. It's not that great. I would love to have an actual Xbox dashboard on my PC for stuff like that, especially if I was using it in a living room. Um, well, we've gone on a tangent for there. Uh,
well, we only have two people, so we're just trying to be entertaining.
yeah, I think that's mostly it. Okay.
This is not an average Xbox Uncut. This is a kind of a
This is an Xbox show. This is
this
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 is
is
the
just
Xbox Uncut.
these are the two biggest X. Well, Dustin's a pretty big fanboy too, but Vern is like always in the middle, and Steve's very logical, and um,
Steve's
they
my arch
usually
nemesis.
yeah, they usually are the good counteraction to us. But right now, it's like an Xbox party. You know, Xbox cheerleaders coming. You know, it's just
Damn straight.
all Xbox.
We're
Even
gonna
though
get
we'll be talking about a little bit of Sony, but you know, this is what it is. So just bear with us.
And before we move on, do you think we should? And I know this is maybe you guys could write in letters or whatever and ask us this, but I was wondering, should we start covering Windows 10 news and branch out more because we're Xbox, but Xbox is moving into Windows 10 too. And I'm not talking about covering Steam news. I'm talking about Windows 10 store gaming. That's it, and AAA gaming. Do you think that would be a thing we're gonna do in the future?
Say that again. How is it? Well, what's going to happen?
Do you think we should start covering Windows 10 news? Like, as in Windows 10 gaming? Like,
Oh, I mean, the Play Anywhere, obviously, but what Windows 10 gaming? What are you saying? The indies?
no, I mean straight AAA. Like, talking about games that release on Windows 10, like maybe talking about Apex. Like, if another Apex happens. Because it's opening up. Like, Xbox doesn't just mean Xbox anymore. It's Xbox on Windows 10. It's just a thing. If you guys want us to talk about that kind of stuff, just write in, tell us if you'd like it, or if you don't, write in, tell us no.
Well, we could talk. I mean, the thing is that what comes from Windows 10 that doesn't
Come to
like
Xbox.
Age
Yeah.
of Empires. Now, in my opinion,
That would be a thing though. If Age of Empires was Windows 10 only, I would want to talk about it.
well, why would it? Why should it be Windows 10?
I don't think it should be. I'm just
I agree, but now that's the thing because somebody had asked me, and it was last E3 because they were putting this around and they were bouncing this off people. So I was on the Xbox floor, and one of the people I'm not going to name, he had asked me. He said, "Well, you know, what do you think about maybe Gears coming, or coming to the thing? You get a free copy, blah blah blah." And I said at the time, I said, "I don't know. I think it pissed the hardcore off." And he was like, we just talked. And then I said, well, if you're going to do that, why don't you just also have these games that you have on Windows and let us have it? How about give us mouse and keyboard support? We have keyboard already. Give us mouse support and let me play Age of Empires. Let me play it anywhere. I didn't say that at the time, but that's what I want. So I'm hoping that these Windows 10 games are also coming our way because you know what? I'll play fucking Football Manager on Xbox One. A game that would never, the one where I would play those games.
Tim. I'm really sad that you didn't say Play Anywhere because you could take credit for it. No, you're right though. I mean, and I love when people are like, "Well, how are they going to tell you using a keyboard and mouse and not a controller?" Well, because they have a device that can tell whether or not you're using a keyboard and mouse. It wouldn't be that hard. I mean, if you're playing a first-person shooter on your Xbox with a keyboard and mouse, it can just matchmake you with people on PC or on Xbox that are also using a keyboard and mouse. It's not that big of a deal. It's not like this is the Stone Age. The Xbox and your computer can tell what you're using as an input device, unless you try to trick it, which I don't even think you probably could on Xbox. But I think it's a great idea. I'd love that, and it would open. It would open like you said, it would open the Xbox to more PC type of games that wouldn't normally get. Uh, I guess we should actually move on to the news story. Red Dead Redemption finally gets Xbox One backwards compatibility this Friday. I guess it should be more like Red Dead Redemption finally gets an Xbox One backwards compatibility release this Friday. But hey, yeah, I'm excited. I already have it downloaded. I got it when it was available by accident. It's a fun game. If you've never played Red Dead before, you should go out and buy it. And it's hilarious the amount of damage control going on about this game right now. It was temporarily at what 30,000% or so on Amazon sales. The sales went up 30,000% before it sold out on Amazon. This thing is selling like hotcakes. Tim, what do you think?
Well, it's up 50,000% or whatever, 30,000%. It sold out, and then it came back to Amazon. I was on an earlier podcast this week, and and this came up, and we were actually like doing a year in review on backwards compatibility, and I said maybe it's not as good as I thought. I said, I do play some of the games, but there isn't really, there isn't a game that I'm looking for. But I said I will say this, and I will reiterate what I said Saturday night. I said if they can get Red Dead Redemption and they can get it on the platform, that makes backwards compatibility to a big win. And I didn't say this at the time, but looking at it, you have a game that PC gamers, the elitists, they have never played on their PC if they haven't owned a console. If they didn't go down to the peasant level and went down to a console. If they didn't come down, okay, so those elitists, they have to watch me on Xbox play this game. And I had played it when it came on 360, but I did not. I'm looking forward to this. I'm going to finish this game or look to finish it. I enjoyed it when I played it, but I was in football at the time. I was playing football. I didn't have as much time as I have for games now. So I'm going to play this game, and it's a huge win for Microsoft, and it's a huge win for backwards compatibility. And it also teaches us a lesson that backwards compatibility does matter, and it might be a few cases, but it does. And this is one that they knocked it out of the park, and Friday can't come soon enough. I hope it's the midnight release.
Yeah, it's funny. I think any company that's looking at what's happening right now and going, we don't want to be on backwards compatibility is absolutely out of their mind. Like Skate 3, they got EA's the one that owns Skate, right? I'm pretty sure it is. Hopefully,
I don't remember.
But whoever owns Skate 3's got to be thinking to themselves, we got to get this shit out. Because look at the sales that's going on. I can only imagine the digital sales, which is direct profit for these companies, with the whatever cut they're taking from the seller. But this shows that backwards compatibility not only matters to the gamers, but it's profitable. It's profitable because there's not much work that needs to be done. It's not like these companies are investing a bunch of money in getting these games on Xbox One, They're just giving the permission and making sure. I don't even think, do they pay? Do you know if these companies are paying for the Q&A or whatever Microsoft's doing to make sure they run properly?
No, I think this is all under
Microsoft, so it's all their money.
And I can tell you that Microsoft has been working on this for a long time, and it was a tough get. So
yeah,
You know, shout out to Rockstar. Um, you did the right. You did a nice thing. You didn't have to do that. You could have made the game a 1080p or a 4K remake, and
Oh,
you could.
don't say that, Tim. Don't say it because I already. You know what it's
But
gonna
yeah,
start.
they could have done that.
Tim, you
They,
know what it's gonna start though, and I already saw it on Gaff. The reason there's not a remaster that's available for PS4 today is because they released a backwards compatible version on Xbox One. I already saw that excuse.
no, but what I'm saying, well, Jeff is a joke. Um, what? But my point is
You're right
that
though.
um, it was a nice gesture by them, and I will express my gratitude with them financially. In the future, I'll buy DLC because that was Rockstar to me. They're number one. They're like the number one dev to me right now. They are fantastic, and kudos to them. I really, really, really appreciate what they did because they didn't have to, and this was a big get for Microsoft, and I'm glad that the reaction. I mean, there's been some crazy. I mean, if you follow my Twitter, I don't know if you saw Jason, but some of these things these people have been writing, there's been mass craziness over this because
Yeah.
people don't like when Microsoft gets something good and only they have it for whatever reason that just makes somebody mad. They don't say, "Hey Sony," or "Hey Steam," or "Hey Gabe, why can't you get this game for us? Let's get it for us." No, they just hate on us, and that's the systemic problem.
It's the same shit that
the same shit.
It's the same shit where people are like, I only want games on PC that are on Steam. It's like, do you really want a monopoly? Like, is that your ideal of the market? Like, are you out of your mind? Like, Steam is already a monopoly. Like, it really is. And it's really good that they still do these sales. But you know how much better Steam could be right now if there actually had a competitor? I mean, they would be much, much better. I mean, could you imagine? Look at the stages Xbox and or Microsoft and Sony have been through these consoles. Look at the fuck ups they've done that they've both had to push each other to fix. Like, look, Xbox One. I hate saying this, or I hate saying it because it's such a lame thing to say, but the Xbox One wouldn't be where it is right now if it wasn't for the PS4 success. Not that that's completely true. It wouldn't be where it is right now if it wasn't for Phil Spencer and everyone working on it too, which is why I hate saying it. But the PS4, and the same thing goes with the PS3. Could you imagine if what would have happened if the PS3 never had the Xbox 360, and what the PS4 would have turned into
Oh
after
my
that?
god. We still wouldn't have fucking. We still can't change a name, but still, it would be fucking.
It would be awful, wouldn't it?
You'd still, yeah, it would be horrible, and rightfully so. It goes the other way too, because Sony came with this generation, and they came in very determined, and they did the right thing, and they knocked it out of the park, and that spurred Microsoft to fucking get knocked out, get knocked on the ground, kicked on the ground, and then get up, and now they're trending up. But that's what competition does. So you would never want a monopoly, like you said, because people, they won't do shit. They'll say, "Fuck you, pay me."
And that's why Steam has such terrible fucking support right now, and they're known for having terrible support. But and to be completely fair to Sony, I don't like saying it's Microsoft's doing that the PS4 exists. I think the people at Sony, Mark Cerny and all the people that worked at Sony to make the PS4 what it is, deserve way more credit than Microsoft does for kicking their asses last gen. But still, if it wasn't for the 360, the PS4 wouldn't be what it is. Just like the Xbox One wouldn't be what it is right now if it wasn't for the PS4. So, that's how competition works, and it's a great thing. And it's terrible to see people go, fuck, I only want Steam, I only want Sony. It's like, you guys don't even know what the hell you're talking about. All right, Red Dead Redemption. Oh, before we skip over it, the multiplayer DLC for Red Dead Redemption is currently free on the Xbox Live Marketplace. So if you don't have that, go ahead, jump on there, and go ahead and get yourself the DLC. I don't know how long it's going to be free. It might be limited or it might be forever. But better safe than sorry. Just jump on there, go and get it. And that's all the news we had set up for this week. Is there anything else we need to talk about news-wise, Tim?
Um, not not really. Inside. I don't know if we talked about. I wasn't here last show. I don't know if we went into Inside, but fantastic.
I have yet to play it, so I don't.
Wow.
I don't want to spoil. I've been playing Warzone Firefight a bunch, so I've been kind of stuck in that.
That's fine.
I'm just looking over the news real quick. Oops, I went to newest. I want to go to the hottest. See if there's anything in here we can see before we move on. Nothing. Okay. Just making sure. Yeah. I guess we could do what you've been playing real quick, and then we'll go into the other news. I've been playing a bunch of Warzone Firefight. It's very good. I highly recommend it. It is hard as hell, so I highly recommend getting a good team of friends to go ahead and play together, because you're not going to get very far otherwise. Sometimes you'll get some good players, but sometimes you'll just get some really bad ones when it comes to the random matchmaking, like every other multiplayer game out there. But it's really fun. It uses all the Warzone. I believe it uses all the Warzone stages, and it's finally given me a fun reason to play Halo Warzone, because I'm really not a fan of normal Warzone because I think it's very unbalanced. But that's all I want to talk about Warzone, though. It's great. You should go try it. Is there anything? I know you said you loved Inside, but I don't want to spoil anyone on that.
I've been playing a lot of games with my nephews, a lot of party games. With Kung Fu Connect, I actually had a lot of fun. I played with them. They love Shovel Knight. I can't stand it. But yeah, I mean, Inside is pretty much what I'm in right now. But I can't get past a certain point, so it's kind of a little frustrating. I won't use guides either.
You're a man. You don't need guides.
Right. I just feel. I mean, I maybe once. I don't even think once in my life I used a guide.
In a game?
I never use a guide, because I remember I used to make fun of the guides that used to be at the stores at GameStop.
I still make fun of them. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I never.
They seem silly, especially.
I remember when I mean, I've looked at them and they'll like show you like the map and they'll show you where the collectible is. I mean.
Well, it's silly for some games, because there's some games out there that have them where they're extremely linear, and it's really not that hard. But then there's ones that make sense, like one for what? There are some out there that make sense for guides, but a lot of these linear games, it's pretty insane when you see the guides for them, and they're thick, so you're like, what the hell do they even have in there? But yeah, man, two-man so, that's what you get for what you've been playing. That's what happens on two-man so's. Well, Adam Boyes. Adam Boyes no longer works at PlayStation, guys.
That's why you don't make... And he's making video games. That's why you don't make fucking douchebag videos like he did. When you're all in, you better be all in. And when you think that, I'm going to buy your game, if you were a douchebag, I don't think so.
Do you think there's a reason? I don't know about the correlation.
Let's pretend this is Gaff. And let's pretend this was a high-ranking Xbox guy. You think they would have any mercy, Jason?
Oh, fuck no.
Would they have any kind of integrity?
If let's say Yusuf Mehdi would have left.
Let's say a guy that's really in Xbox. I don't even want to use a name. You think that what would they be saying? They'd be saying, "Oh, this is the end. This is a big, this is the end of Xbox. This guy, they'd be all with these fucking theories and all this bullshit that they would come up with, and nobody would call them out. But you'll have a guy like somebody on Twitter, and everyone's gonna be all sensitive about it. Well, to all those people on Gaff, go fuck yourself, because you know what? You created this bullshit. Okay, you created this fucking hero worship with that guy, and when it's on your top anticipated lists, like it's gonna be like your shit list that you have, which I don't know. I think I couldn't believe. I think Gravitron or Gravitron 2, Gravity or whatever the name of the game is, was ahead of Forza Horizon 3. I cannot wait to see that guy in your top 10 list. So, bottom line is that he's moving on. Am I going to speculate about his job? Maybe I will. But you know what? I kind of am a guy that like lets a guy pass when he's down. I'm not looking to kill the guy, but I'm probably not buying the guy's game. I'm
You
gonna
know what
be
the thing is
honest.
though, Tim, when I kind of whenever I watch interviews with him, he feels like a guy you'd like. He seems very much like a guy you'd sit down and have a beer with. But then he there's points and times where he just goes off. Like he kind of I don't know how to explain it. Like he seems like a nice guy, but then there's times where he's ultra biased, which is and I know some people are going to say, "Well, he works for Sony. Of course he's going to be like that." But that it's not always like that. Like it.
You know what it is? Listen, if one of the guys on Xbox left, like I said, it would be such a big
Oh,
story.
yeah.
There would be such mercy on like if Phil left or just I don't want to even put the names of people that they left to do something. There would be all these theories. There'd be articles. There'd be total disregard for that person. Okay. Now, none of those guys on Xbox ever did something that Adam Boyes did, okay? Now, what Adam Boyes did was make a commercial that basically shitted on Xbox and basically said, fuck you. Okay, we all know the commercial with his little smile. Okay, when you do that type of stuff, you know what? People don't forget. Already I got tweets. I don't forget, all right? Um, Nobody on
Honestly,
Xbox has ever went that route, okay? So if anything, those guys deserve more respect than this guy, all right? So now we're gonna have a bunch of things like, oh well, he was such a great guy. You know what? They built up this guy to be, a bigger than life type guy, and he was a big Sony guy, and they people resonated with him. That's fine. He was the guy that made fun of Xbox, but you know what? He's now going to be a developer, and developing it's going to be tough. I don't think his game is good. He could let out a bomb, and the thing is that he doesn't have a good starting ground because he has a lot of people that don't like him, and people that I've talked to that know him, I don't know if they like him. So I don't know. My interaction with the guy has been very. I think I tweeted him once, and I was blocked right after that. It was for something that he said or something that he did. Um, but the fact is that the guy was Sony through and through, and now what are you gonna do? You're gonna try to come and release a game on Xbox now? I mean, seriously, Jason?
yeah,
An
no.
indie game? Well, you're gonna expect you were being a dick to us for 4 years, 3 years. Obviously, you're a fan of Gaff. Let's be honest.
Well,
You're a
Tim,
fan of Gaff. That's obvious.
if it all fails, he'll always have a job at Gaff. Never mind.
Exactly, with his old boss or his old work, Bish. So he might become a mod at Gaff, and that would just further the point. But I don't think he'll be a mod because when you leave like this, when he leaves, this is what's probably happening, and it's not like he's been fired. He probably had a difference in opinion than the guys at Sony, and they didn't like it. And he said, "Well, I'm not going to go along with you guys with this. I don't think that VR is the way to go. I think that this is the way to go." And they had a disagreement, and he's now going to become an indie dev. He'll probably have support. He'll probably make a good game, so he'll make money. But at the end of the day, it is something that you look at and you say,
What you're saying is he burned your bridges.
you burn your bridges when you do stuff like that, and you burn your bridges when you talk about. I remember him saying that how great Sony was on a tweet and how they have the best group and they have the best people. Okay, I never seen fucking talking about Greenberg will say has the best fans, but I never seen Phil saying we have the best team, we're the best in the industry. When you're saying that stuff, I remember it, and I think that's why I think I tweeted him on that because I was just like, this guy's just like, just too much. But the fact is that he's not well liked in the Xbox community. I can tell you that right now, and um,
He's really a fake Major Nelson, which is kind of sad.
right, and he had his hand holded by NeoGaf, which we all know is a completely biased forum and basically a PR firm for Sony, and there's really no way around it. And it's also an investigation firm on Microsoft, and it's popular, so it's not to say that it's not something that has influence. It has a lot of influence. Okay, that's why you see these articles about how things are confusing.
Well, it should be clarified that there's a lot of people on GAF that are actually journalists, and they go to GAF and they read the stuff, and the first thing they do after reading it is they go and write an article.
Right.
And that's why a lot of the stuff gets sourced from there. And it sucks because I think personally that's why there's still some Microsoft employees that actively go to GAF, because they have to be there to cut the shit at the source.
Well, I mean, you have the head of Xbox fucking tweeting PC Gamer. Well, that's not what we were saying here. We're intentions of this. Shouldn't PC Gamer, if you write an article, not just read fucking GAF and write an article? Maybe read GAF, ask Phil, ask Ybarra, ask Greenberg, get some kind of concrete.
Well, Tim, it's not about that anymore, Tim.
They probably, exactly, it's not about that.
It's not about that anymore. It's about being the first one to get out there with the controversy. That's all it's about. It's not about being credible.
And that's shitty.
Because even if it comes out tomorrow and it comes out and it gets posted 1,000 times how Phil Spencer backtracks or some shit with another controversy, it's going to turn into no one's going to care. No one's going to remember about PC Gamer doing it. They're just going to move on and they're going to do it with another story. Like, that's how this works. No, everyone has such short-term memory. They don't care about this. And it's really sad. Like if you look at the subreddit, like this news story earlier that was posted about the Play Anywhere thing. It's been posted like 50 times on the subreddit today. Like it's just an echo chamber, you know?
It's an echo chamber, and unfortunately the media is influenced, and this is a big blow. I mean, this is a big blow to that whole fuckery that goes on with GAF and Sony, and they idolize this guy, and there's something maybe to his leaving. You never leave. Like, how do you go from being Mr. Sony, Mr. face of the company to, I'm just going to become a game guy?
Well, that's why earlier I was going, I wonder if this has any correlation to the fact that he really wasn't at E3. He was at E3. He was on the Giant Bomb show at E3. But you didn't see him on stage. I didn't see him really at all at any of the Sony stuff.
Listen, if Microsoft hired him, I tell you right now, I'd have a serious problem with that. I really would have a serious problem with that. I'm going to be completely honest.
I don't think Microsoft would hire him.
I don't think they're going to hire him. He's very talented, but you know what? He towed the line for a company that he didn't own. Okay, there's one thing being a fan, and there's one thing working for the company and acting like you're Mr.
Well, that's the thing, though, Tim. You don't see Major Nelson burning bridges, do you? Major Nelson doesn't run around burning bridges.
And believe me, I've begged Phil, make a video, be a dick, say something, Phil. And Phil's like, oh, that's, I don't do that. He doesn't say that, but he doesn't do that.
Yeah.
He's not me. Phil's actually a classy guy. He really is a classy guy. But the thing is that he doesn't know what he's up against. There's no bullshit here. This fucking forum, these fucking guys, they all don't like Microsoft, or they didn't, and they all work against it. There's no fairness in here. There's no reason to be fair to somebody who's being unfair to you. Okay, that's pretty simple. And I pretty much said that to Phil, and I'll hold my ground for it. And if people don't like that I say that, I don't care, because it's the truth. It's reality. I'm dealing with reality. All right, I'm
No,
not
it's
dealing with.
true. It was a terrible thing as far as like when Sony during the beginning of the generation, Sony released that video where they're like, "Look, we can trade games, or I'll hand this guy the other game." It was completely disingenuous. It was completely false. It like they Microsoft could have straight released a video saying, "Oh, that's cool. Well, I can trade games digitally without having to give someone a disc to someone across the goddamn United States, and I could share games with him." Because that's what their original plan was. Like, it was completely disingenuous, but Microsoft didn't do anything to counteract it. I mean, never mind the messed up messaging or anything. I mean, they basically turned around and just let Sony keep stabbing them in the back. But I am glad that they're taking the higher road right now. I know you'd rather them jump down Sony's throat, but I would rather them take the higher road. But I agree with you that it's not doing anything to help all this media bias.
It's just a difference of philosophy, and I get that, and I just know that I'm just a guy that buys their product.
You're a
I do not.
bulldog, you know that? You're
I,
a pit bull,
yeah,
man.
well, I'm a dog, but I know I don't work for Microsoft. I never pretend to be, and I don't influence any of those guys. But you know what? I'm not. I'm at the point where, like, if I talk to Phil, I'm just gonna. If I talk to him on a chat and I see something, or I'm gonna be honest about it. It's not, I mean, when I first talked to Phil, and it was awesome. Obviously you're in awe and stuff like that. But after a while, it just becomes a regular guy. When you become familiar with somebody, or you talk to somebody, and you're always talking about the same thing, obviously there's a certain level of respect I'm going to have. But I'm also going to say, you know what? I know I don't work for Microsoft, and I don't care if really Phil doesn't like what I said. If he doesn't like what I said, then that's be it, because I'm going to tell him the truth of how I feel. This system is bullshit. It's been bullshit. It's unfair to Microsoft. And it all originates in that shithole GAF where they ban Xbox people like you, like Statham. You have idiots like Chobel over there. Who know the place is. He admits that the place is biased. Admits Bish the head mod is biased. Yet has it in his name and supports it and talks to all the Sony leaning neutrals and all that bullshit. I see it all, and you know what? I don't give a shit anymore. If you're gonna do that stuff and you're gonna pretend you're in the good for Microsoft, guess what? You're gonna get unfollowed. You're gonna get muted, and if you become weird, I'm gonna block you. Okay? Because the bottom line is, I'm dealing in reality now. NeoGAF is biased. All right. The media doesn't do their work, and they are influenced by bias, and they are microscoping Microsoft, and they are giving a free pass to Sony, and they have no respect for Phil Spencer or anybody of the good people at Xbox. That's reality. All right. Now, everything else, there's fanboys, there's people that are in the middle that really don't get involved, but everyone also has a bias, and everyone also has, they're gonna have what they support. They're gonna be a fanboy of some sort. That I don't believe that there's somebody straight in the middle. Maybe very few, but most people have a inherent thing that they pull for, and it's just the tables right now are just way out of whack. Okay, and if we don't want to deal in that reality, well then I'm just gonna say fuck you, and I'm not gonna whatever. I'm just not gonna deal with it, because I'm not dealing with fantasy anymore. The place is fucking bias to a bad thing, and it's basically a Sony PR firm and a Microsoft investigating firm. Media is influenced. They all fucking go there. Microsoft has to have fucking the head of Xbox tweet a fucking publication and say, well, that's not what we're really saying. That's pathetic. And when we get to the point where we actually, like GameStop wrote a good article, and In the Know had a nice thing, you know what? Those are the people I'll give attention to. That other stuff is just, I'm just gonna just shit it down. I'm not gonna just avoid it and block it if it's a fucking video game which I have blocked already, or whatever shit site that's trying to make some waves because they suck and Facebook Live is kicking their ass. You know what? I'm just gonna go to Facebook Live. So That's up on them. All right, there's this is real, and people know this, and it's just each week it gets more and more. And Adam Boyes, his comment on Twitter was, I'm going to read it for everyone. After an incredible journey here at PlayStation, I've made the very hard decision to return to the world of game development. Okay, so that's what he wrote, and
How shit must it be to work at Sony to want to go back to game development? No, just joking. Just kidding with you guys.
well,
Yeah.
that honestly, that's not crazy. I mean, what, would you rather be a game developer where I don't know. I don't really don't. I don't. There's something to this story, and it might come out. But at the end of the day, I'm probably gonna take it easy. I could be a real dick, but you know what? I'm not like Gaff, and I'll probably just play
Like
Red
Phil
Dead Redemption.
Fiss, it's better just to let him go and go into
Yeah,
it.
but we know. Let's just the moral of the story is we know, and I'm sure there's going to be a hot topic on other podcasts. But you know, the guy basically burned bridges when he did that, and there is always a repercussion for your actions. And that's why Phil takes the high road. That's why Phil doesn't do those commercials and have you barra hand the game to him a
And
backwards
that's
compatible.
why I loved at E3 when he came out and he gave, like I said before, he came out and he said he wants a platform where gamers are respected, people are mature to each other, you play the games where you want to. It's not about PlayStation or Xbox. It's about, it's about just you. What do you want to do? That's what it's about, And it's a really oddball thing for someone trying to sell a console to say. But hey. But I think we should end it there. We talked enough about that. Uh, thankfully, this show's just a little bit over an hour, which I have no idea how we did with two people. But you know what? I just want to interject something in the
I
conversation.
think Red
Something you
Dead.
said early.
Just not to just to tell everyone. I think Red Dead Redemption is available now. So
Oh, is it?
yeah,
Okay.
get on your Xboxes if you have it after the show.
Stop
and,
listening to this. It's awful. Just go play Red Dead.
I'm actually gonna be. Oh, fuck the kids are playing. All right, so go on.
I was just going to say, I live my life through the idea that everyone's biased, and yes, everyone has a bias, but really what matters is how you treat others and how you let that bias affect you. Like, bottom line, that's what matters. If you're the kind of guy that allows your bias to control your life, then you're kind of fucked up. So, but anyway.
Well said, and it's very true.
Um,
there's a part of me that could be a real dick, like I said, and maybe at other times
Well,
it might be. But I try to do the right thing a lot of times. People want to make me out to be this guy and this and that. I'm really a nice guy. I try to be nice to people.
You know what, Tim? I bet you could sell me on a PS4 if I was in a store and a random guy you met.
You know what?
You probably could.
If I worked at GameStop, I would be fair. I really would try to be fair. It's funny because sometimes I hook up people's PlayStation 4 and we talk and then they say things that are positive and I come back with things that are positive. It's not like I'm going to try to sell them an Xbox. I respect that. It's not something that is really that serious. My passion and your passion, we're Xbox guys. We love this stuff.
Hell,
And
you know how big of a Windows Phone fan I am. I sold Prophecy on a damn Nexus 6P. He didn't even know what a Nexus was. I had to sell him what a Nexus was, and I sold it on to it.
You guys are fans of it, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's great.
Yeah, that's the point. Bottom line.
They're one of the few companies left in America that that's an American company. Which there's a little patriotism with me involved. I respect that too. I mean, that's not to say I drive a Japanese car, but it doesn't mean that I can respect that they're part of our country. It is a representation of our country, and their genius and the things that they do, I really think should be applauded sometimes. And that's the constant hate really is just something that makes me the way I am sometimes. The sometimes when you see the ugliness from me is because that stuff, it's like you see, like I'm hanging out with these guys at E3, and I'm going to dinner with, Ybarra, and I'm seeing the normal guys are doing things that, I don't think Adam Boyes was having any dinners with any Sony fans, or the way, Sony, they're doing something that's unprecedented, but you see them and you see like they have a fucking awesome show, and they don't get the love that they really should from the media. They should get a little bit of pat on the back, and they should get a little of this, the love that Sony gets. And to see it firsthand, and to see like to be with these people even after E3 is just it kind of makes me feel bad in a way, because they don't deserve half the shit that they get, man, and that's just the bottom line. So, like I said, I'm hoping that we can move forward, and you know, let bygones be bygones. I don't know right now. It is what it is. I'm sure Adam will be fine, and like I said, I'm not going to blow up that, but it just my my overall point is that as Xbox fans, me, you, and even Dustin, we do everything because we love Xbox, and we do it for the fans too. We do these shows. We all try to make it because you guys are an extension. We're all extension of each other, and um, it's just the way it is. Like, I wouldn't take my time out if I didn't know. I know how big of a fan Jason is. I know how smart Jason is, or how much he knows about video games. And Dustin too, and Vern, and Steve. I mean, that's the great thing about our show is that we all know what we're talking about, and and I learned from this show because of the people on it. So, like I said, we're doing it because we want to also give an outlet to fans that just want to be positive about Xbox, because it's constant bullshit.
Well, on that note, which is a very good point, I think we should end it. What do you think? Good to go?
Yeah, definitely good to go.
All right, good to go. Now, I'm going to start playing the intro, or the outro. Actually, that would make more sense. If you guys want to write to us, xboxuncut@gmail.com. Tell us anything, ask us anything, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to be the one reading it next week, so make it as bad as you want. Wicked, write 6 letters. All right, we'll see you guys later. You say bye, Tim? Tim? You want to say bye?
Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye, guys.